having a fantastic evening, fantastic afternoon, fantastic pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Hasanabi broadcast coming to you live from kind of groggy, a little bit rainy California, Los Angeles. Folks, we're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a fan-fucking-tastic day. I am in a great mood. Now, why am I in a great mood? You might be thinking, Hasan, why are you in a great mood? Is it because you got back home? That's what you might be thinking. You're like, oh, you're finally home again. You're such a homebody. And honest to God, that is a role. That does play a role. Is it because, Hasan, are you in a great mood because, you know, you saw Kaya this morning? Your mom released Kaya and she like ran up to you like a little baby because she had missed you. Is that the reason? I think that plays a role. That definitely plays a role. Hasan, are you in a good mood because you're delirious, you might be asking? Right? Like, you're probably delirious. You literally streamed until like 12 a.m. last night and then didn't fucking stop. And then you went to sleep and you woke up probably, I assume, at around 4 a.m. Obviously, like if it's you making this mental calculation, you're probably saying, is that what the reason is? And it's like, maybe you're fucking delirious. You're tweeting at fucking 4 a.m. and shit. What's happening? But I think some people know what the real reason is. And that is...
You know we finally here, right?
Well,
It's Friday then.
It's freaking
Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday,
baby.
what? It's Friday then.
Flat fuck Friday. It's fuck a man. Fuck a man. Fuck a fan's mom Friday. Holy moly. It is Mufasa Friday. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's fuck a man Friday. We're having sex. We're doing gay sex. We're doing gay sex. We're doing homosexual activities on this Friday. This is a time for everyone to celebrate the accomplishments that our forefathers fought for us. Long and hard with blood, sweat, and tears. Labor unions, trade unionists, socialists, and the like. They fought long and hard so you can have a goddamn weekend. So you're going to fucking celebrate. We're going to have immaculate motherfucking vibes on this Friday. You call it Friday. I call it Friday. Some call it Fry Slays. The freaking weekend is here. Some of you fucking wage slaves, you goddamn wage cocks, are going to have a brief moment of solace in your lives. So we'll be celebrating that by fucking a man. It's fucking man Friday. Okay, folks. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasan. I have a Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming a button. For all the parasocialists out there, I'm back. I'm fucking back. I'm back in my house. Did you confirm getting kicked out? I mean, I did. Also, what do you mean did I confirm? You saw it happen. Is the title clickbait? No. Folks, we're live. We're alive. For all the parasocialists out there who are like, Hasan, what did you do in between the time period where you press the start streaming button and press the stop streaming button? This is where I would tell you all about that. Okay. Not a single bean was licked. I know. I didn't lick a bean. I didn't like the bean. I didn't like the bean. I didn't like the bean. I'm sorry. I want to fucking apologize to the beautiful state of Illinois. I want to apologize to Chicago. Okay. I said I was going to lick your bean, Chicago. I never did. And I will make up for it. I'll come back. I do love Chicago. It's a beautiful city, beautiful people. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Chicago is like clean New York. It's like Chicago's like light New York, cleaner. Okay. I didn't get to taste the. I did not get to taste the beauties. You didn't make it into the article. The Ken Benzinger article, even though I got kicked. Damn. Why didn't I go to O Block, Chicago? We were in South Chicago. We didn't make it. We didn't make it to the Ken Benzinger article. That's crazy. He spent so much time with me. He might be doing a different article. Who knows? Fake friend. I dare you to eat another hot dog. He told you about today's article. You would love Omaha, Nebraska. The United Center isn't in South Chicago, it's West Side. Oh, it's West. Nah, it's a different article. Remember, he said he had a different article coming out yesterday or today. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, folks. West side, south side, O block. I'll venture it all. I'll see it all, okay? But last night I ended the broadcast at like what, 12 Chicago time. After I got kicked out of the DNC, as you guys know, not fully kicked out, but kicked out of like politely kicked. Okay, politely kicked out of the DNC. And what do you call it? Yeah, after that polite kick, I made the smart move. I made the right choice to literally fucking evacuate the premises so I could just, like, before it got super chaotic, I could get back home and I could do my live reacts from the comfort of my hotel room, which is literally why I got that hotel room to begin with as backup. Because I never thought that I would even get this level of access. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm going to talk a lot about this. Okay. I noticed your rhetoric got way the fuck more radical as soon as it happened too, which was sick. Wait, what? My rhetoric got way more radical as soon as I left? Dog, I literally was pushed away because of what I was doing that was considered radical, which is wearing a Palestinian flag on my waist, talking to Palestinian Americans, including Corey Bush as well, outside of the DNC United Convention Center. Like, I never stopped advocating for the same things that I was advocating for inside of the DNC, outside of the DNC. That never changed. Okay, was that confirmed? There's just whispers. Okay, it's not like they're not going to release an official statement. But just know that when there's a situation like that unfolding, there's like a million different people that are in communications. And of course, some people are going to be frustrated by what they see, especially because, like, if there's divisions, remember when I told you about how there's some divisions between like what the Kamala Harris campaign wanted versus what the DNC wanted? Well, the boss call came from the DNC side, I think, who is not exactly fond of me, which apparently they're not fond of anyone really. So that's not shocking. They are fond of AIPAC. I rewatched the stream yesterday after you left, and the way the lady acted after the guy with the vest came to say something to you was sus as fuck. It seems he wanted to help you get a spot and she shot him down. No, all the people that I was working with were fine. They're fine. They're great. They're doing their best. They're doing their jobs. Okay, everybody calm down. I don't want you fucking talking shit about anybody that you saw on camera. They were all wonderful people. They were all literally, they were not only wonderful people, but they were also like, you know, they put up with my ass. Okay, I don't think like my asks were all that crazy. I've given these asks ahead of time, obviously. Why would they think of you as an agitator? Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh, Michael Pillow, Fox News. What about them? I'm going to tell you guys all of this, okay? I'm going to tell you about everything. I'm going to tell you about everything. You know what? Let's just blast off real quick and then we'll get to it, all right? I unfollow so many libbed up Dems on Twitter. But yeah, hold on. You were a bit of a diva. I was not. Like, you guys are so funny because like you're watching from over there being like, oh, you're being a bit of a diva. It's like, no, dog, you have no way of like, bro. I was polite to every single person across the board, always. Even after I got kicked out, I was still polite. Even after I got kicked out, I'm still polite right now. Okay. Not only that, but also on top of that, like that is a really dynamic environment. We're trying to do like fucking, we're trying to cut content. We're trying to do like 8 hours of fucking nonstop coverage in a very dynamic environment with people who are not fully familiar with the back end stuff, with the logistics of doing such a thing. Okay. And all things considered, they were pretty helpful overall, but like I don't think you guys understand the lift it requires to be able to put something like that together in a situation like that. Like if I'm the equivalent of like a Jake Tapper type person, right, doing commentary, and also on top of that a Donny O'Sullivan type person as well, roaming around asking people questions, you know, roaming the halls of Congress, or not halls of Congress, sorry, halls of the DNC, my first time ever on top of that, you have to understand something. Like that is not a thing that anyone else does. Like it's never like one person. What we were able to do in 4 days, me and March, what we were able to do, and like sometimes my manager on the back end too, were able to do, is something that like hundreds of people that spend millions of dollars to be able to achieve. You understand that? Like it is an unimaginable feat. Okay? It was an unimaginable feat in my opinion. It was incredible. March pulled through. He's the GOAT. Okay? Like you on your end, you just watch like a seamless stream. Sometimes it Fs, sometimes there's audio issues, whatever. But on the back end, there is so much work that goes into it. So much work that goes into it, like lugging that shit around all over the place, you know? Trying to figure out a fucking area, trying to communicate what we need in terms of how we can fucking put that shit together. Because like even the 8-hour streaming process, like even the fact that I just sit there and stream for 8 hours, like that alone is like it can be arduous, right? It can be mentally taxing, physically taxing, right? But beyond that, now try doing that in a dynamic environment where like things are changing regularly. Okay? Like that shit is like a full news team with producers, but instead we're just operating. We're just randomly fucking, putting this stuff together. And rolling with the punches. Like that's not an easy feat at all. So shouts out to March for the help. And I think all things considered, you need an actual assistant to handle coordination and talks and shit, it looked like. Yeah, potentially. I need like another producer, basically. No way you were a diva, your coverage was great, even a few Israel daily stun locks, but I wonder if other content creators were also kicked for Palestine coverage too. Harrison's a total piece of shit and anti-Palestine, so no surprise. Lots of rumors of him and Harris Camp beefed on day 4 a lot. Yeah, I think that is what is going on. I suspect that was a part of it. You were obnoxious though, reacting, swearing, and baby raging at individuals in chat. You said you were lucky to get to use the spot. Not sure you have it long. You were lucky and you blew it. Yeah, you don't understand anything, my friend. Obviously, you are at odds with people who are higher up in the Democratic Party in terms of like in terms of the value that I was providing, even if I was being contentious. Okay? So clearly, you're wrong about that. And also, I'm not going to stop doing what I do regardless because I'm inside of the fucking DNC. I'm not going to like all of a sudden button up, right? Like this is literally what I do. And the reason why I got clapped, the reason why I got booted wasn't because I was yelling and baby raging. The reason why I got booted was because I did not compromise on my values. Okay? So, I 100% get it. I've done interviews at music festivals before. It can be impossible to nail down schedules with people, even just get them to agree to meet you in a weird space. You did great, dude. Really impressed with the coverage. Yeah. So I got a lot of opinions now that like I'm back home. Are you sure you weren't just kicked out to give that prime spot to a big name? No. Because that prime spot was, I'm almost certain that prime spot was literally owned by a dude, like owned by a donor who was there, who was a fan. So it was not like no one else was. You didn't find it suspicious that no one else left that area? Just me? All the other people that were in that room still? Yeah, they didn't make anyone else evacuate that area? Just me? Come on, chat. Like, there are some things I can say and some things I can't openly communicate to you, okay? Anyway, but yeah, personal news-wise, all I'm gonna say is went to sleep, woke the fuck up, and got on a plane. I don't even know how I made it, honestly. Flew in, saw Cornel West as I was getting on the flight. He was going somewhere else, obviously. Shook his hand, said I'd love to have you on at some point. Didn't actually exchange information, unfortunately, because I had to run in. I had to run into what do you call it? Like, I had to run into the plane because, you know, it was about to take off. I got a Twitch thing about you getting booted out of the convention. Did I miss something, or is it typical Twitter bollocks? But yeah. Will you have AOC on? Yeah, we'll have AOC on in the future. Okay. But here it is. Let's blast off, okay? I'm back from the DNC. Can you turn off the music? Why? What the hell is this music? Can you turn off the music? I haven't blasted off yet. This is what I always do. What is going on with the chat? Let me blast off and then I'll turn off the music. Calm down, okay? Calm down, all right? I'm back home from the DNC. Got booted. It's due to my rabble rousing on uncommitted campaign demands. Kamala Harris pivots to center right on final day speech. Trump is in a state of panic. Thoughts on the future of the campaign and more. Get in now. RFK dropout delayed again. Wait, what? What did he say? Do we have a blast off or what? No, I don't. This one is awful, dude. I'm sorry. That blast off is awful. Will I be able to get Sean Fain on the stream? Yes. You have to remember something, okay? Like, a lot of the people that work around Sean Fain, a lot of the people that work around, a lot of the people that work around Sean Fain, a lot of the people that work around AOC, AOC herself, obviously, as well, but Ilhan Omar, like, these are people that I know, okay? These are people that I know. Same with, what do you call it? Same with Bernie Sanders. Okay, some of these people I know directly. Some of these people I know. Some of these people whose teams I'm very familiar with, who are very familiar with me. You have to remember, like, the people that I was able to interview wanted to be interviewed by me. They were the ones who made those requests. Okay, so like, there is obviously there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party that are elected officials, and also people in their teams that are very aware of who I am and also like the work I do. So I will absolutely, interview them in the future. Cori Bush says she was a fan. Yeah, I know. Like, it's crazy. I oftentimes forget. I think I oftentimes forget, like, the impact that I might have. Terrible take yesterday by Hasan. Okay, dude, shut up. I oftentimes forget like the like who's watching, you know what I mean? Which is good because then I can be silly and not restrain myself in any capacity, right? But also simultaneously, that also sometimes causes me to forget that like there are literally people who are very aware of what the fuck I do. You know, people who are incredible individuals fighting for the working class, fighting for labor unions, things of that nature. Anyway, overall though, the biggest commentator on the left is definitely going to be seen by these people. Yeah. Overall, I'll say it like this. Okay. The DNC and the Kamala campaign knew what my background was, knew what I would talk about. They knew that I was not going to, engage in any sort of editorial control in terms of like censoring myself. If I see something, I'm going to say something, right? And ultimately, here we blast it off. RFK press conference lined up. He's holding a briefing on his presidential campaign after withdrawal from the Arizona ballot. Yeah, we'll get to that too. Some people are saying they're voting for Jill Stein now. That's hilarious. I mean, do what you want to do, chat. I won't stop you, but you probably got a stab her fired? No, I didn't. No shot. You ain't never getting in again, honestly, after all that bullshit. It might just be down ballot vote for me. No, I'm not. I don't even agree with that. Because next time I'll just go as press. My highlights from this week: Greg interview, Donnie interview, New York Times interview that turned into a walk and talk, participating in protest, streaming from the hotel, and honorable mention to the girl that shot at you on Streamlaw. Yeah. The first day, they just like were completely oblivious to what I do, kind of like in terms of what was necessary, like what kind of needs I had to be able to like conduct these live streams, right? So they were like, okay, well, I knew that wasn't going to work the first day, so I just like started off in the hotel. Then I went to the Palestinian protests. Then we went into the DNC. We did walk and talk. We roamed around in the DNC first day. It was fun, right? Great stuff. Second day, they were like, no, we have access for you. We got a room for you. And I was like, listen, it's not just a room. I need a desk and I need an Ethernet cable. That's it, right? Second day, we started off with a Donnie interview. Donnie actually drove us in. CNN drove us into the fucking DNC. It was sick, right? We rolled in with the big dogs. Okay. And not only that, but we set the shit up. We started. We let it rip. You already know what happened when we let it rip that day. The Obama spoke. Third day, Wednesday. Third day of the DNC, I had to leave early. And literally as I was leaving early, they had an even nicer area for me, as you guys know. Okay. There was an even nicer area that they had set up right behind the fucking stage. It was crazy. Same area, same space that I have like for CNN. Now, the entire time I'm telling them, by the way, like, it's okay if I don't have space. I'll just, stream from the hotel. If I have interviews or whatever, I'll come over to the DNC. I'll conduct my interviews and I'll fuck off. I'll go back to my hotel, right? If I want to do my desktop stream. So they were like, no. It's better if you're here. It's better if you're inside of the DNC, which makes sense. Like, I'm a fucking, I'm there as an influencer, right? So they wanted me to be there. So I was like, fine. I'll take it. As long as they have space for me, I'll take it, right? So, yeah, the piss jug is back. So we did it the second day. Ironically, of course, sadly, or third day when I was leaving the DNC to go do the Chapo Truanon podcast, it was fucking hilarious because that was the day when Ilhan Omar's team, Sean Fain's team, and AOC's team, all three of them sent me communications being like, oh, we're here now, we can do the interviews now. And that day I wasn't kicked out. So like I could have technically, if I didn't do the Chapo Truanon podcast, I could have done all of my interviews that day. I could have gotten those out of the fucking way, right? But it is what it is. I'm not upset about it. You know, I love those boys. I'm always gonna fucking roll with them. So I did the pod, live audience. It was great. One of you guys actually gave me fucking fat stack of Sixers on the Zin. So shouts out to that Hasanabi head at the Chapo podcast. Anyway, so that was one thing. And then the last day, they're like, no, you got the same space from 2:30 all the way to the end. And I'm like, are you guys sure? It's a big day. Are you guys sure? It's a big day. I understand if there's limitations, like I'll just, you know, do my thing. I'll do my thing and I'll fucking go back to my hotel room. And they're like, no, you have the space. You have the space. You have the balcony. It's uninterrupted the entire day. Unlike the day before when the fucking Warren staffer came in and was like, you need to get the fuck out. You know, it was like chirping at me. They were like, no, this time you have it fully, right? I was like, okay, sure. That's great. We start off roaming. Okay. We start off roaming with March. We go to the uncommitted campaign, the uncommitted delegates. Remember, these are Democratic Party operatives that are from all around the country. They represent hundreds of thousands of Democratic Party voters that participated in the primary that said, we are uncommitted because of the actions that the Democratic Party is engaging in terms of Israel, okay? In terms of like what they're doing with their unconditional support to Israel, right? So, did you actually get kicked out or is it thumbnail bait? No, I mean, I didn't get fully kicked out. So here's the thing, okay? There are different levels of credentials inside of the Democratic Party. That area that we were at is the lower level suites, right? That is that area that I was at when I was doing this interview with the New York Times was at the lower level suites. This is the same exact level that like CNN is on. It's the same exact level that like MSNBC is on. When you see like Jake Tapper and whatever, like sitting in front of that podium, in front of that stage, like they are literally, they're on the same level. They gave me the balcony on the same exact level, which is insane access. Okay. And at that point I was thinking like, honestly, like, I mean, those are like, yeah, those are $500,000. Like people pay $500,000 to get those suites. Okay. And the fact that I had the access to that level to like show you this background at all, I'm happy. Like I was going to take anything they were giving me, right? Anything and everything that they were giving me, I was taking. Yeah, Chris Cuomo said those suites cost millions of dollars. Someone at the DNC probably said, why the fuck are we giving this guy this great suite who's shitting on us the entire time? Yeah, I know. So they didn't obviously like say, fuck off, you're done. We're revoking your access completely. You need to leave the premises. They didn't do that because that would have been a much larger, I think, that would have been a little silly for them to do. But they basically made it so that like, you know, they made it as impossible to stream for me as possible by coming in and saying randomly, you know, out of nowhere, coming in and informing me that I had to leave immediately. Like they were like, you have to clear out immediately. That's what they said. And I was like, what the fuck? You saw it. I think it's on my last like YouTube, getting kicked out of the DNC YouTube. Like you probably at gunpoint. There's no fighting back. If they say, when someone says you got to leave this area and like move to a different area, do you know how many secret service permanently space. We're fine. We're fine for now in this. Well, not, we're not fine for now. We're like literally, like we're permanently done here. Bro, that's so whack. Yeah. Chad is going to understand those boxes are all owned by individuals, meaning they have the rights to any and all events held in the United Center. The box owner ultimately has final say who's in there and can kick out whoever they want. So, yeah, I did the Dr. Disrespect face gestures when my mic was muted, okay? They also told you to stop stream. No, that's they didn't. Sounds like someone gave you that space without permission. No, dude, what are you talking about? You have no, just stop speculating, okay? Stop speculating. I'm telling you exactly what happened. I don't know why you're like, it's not enough for me. I don't know why you're like, I know you know better than I do. You were literally there. You have access to so much more information on this process than I do. Stop speculating. I'm telling you exactly what happened. Okay? I'm telling you exactly what happened. I don't know why the fuck you guys are like trying to make up your own goddamn stories. Okay? This is what happened. That morning, I interviewed the uncommitted delegates. Okay? These are Democratic Party operatives themselves, people that have fought against Republicans in their own states, people that have positions within the Democratic Party. These aren't like, anarchists. These aren't like the protesters outside. These are people who work within the confines of the Democratic Party. These are Democratic Party delegates. That's why there wasn't so many people outside in the protest, because they're not letting everybody in. They're obviously not letting anyone in, as a matter of fact. Okay? So, like, they had a Palestinian American. They had multiple Palestinian Americans that had speeches that were pre-vetted and pre-scripted, as always, that would endorse Kamala Harris at the end of that speech, as a matter of fact. That was those are the conditions, right? And they had put forward these speakers, and the Democratic Party was not playing ball with them at all, which was kind of fucked up. Not even kind of fucked up. It was really fucked up, because this is a very reasonable demand. It's a reasonable demand. It's a moral demand. It's a just demand. It's electorally positive for the Democrats to like show that they're a big tent that also features, Palestinian voices as well. These are American voters, right? These are American Palestinian voters and their friends. These are Arab voters and Muslim voters in key states. Okay. So obviously, I find it ridiculous that they would not, they just wouldn't do anything about that, right? Like they wouldn't let that happen. The UAW was pressuring, donors were pressuring the Democratic Party. Okay. A lot of pressure was happening for, on the last day to have, to have a Palestinian American speak. They had fucking Border Patrol guys on. They had, like anti-choice Republicans on. They had other Republicans on. They had a bunch of fucking Republicans on. Like, it's crazy. They had an Israeli American family speak, whose son was being held hostage by Hamas as well, which is, of course, understandable. Like, those are families that are suffering. Their voices also must be heard. Okay? That makes sense. But to do that and to then turn around and not have any Palestinian Americans, it obviously shows that there's a double standard. Okay? And now you have like UAW and other unions also applying pressure as well. And I think they should apply more pressure, as a matter of fact, regardless of the fact that like Joe Biden was very pro-labor union and, walked the picket line. Like, it's great that he did that, but I think that there's no other way. There's no other way to get the Democratic Party to fucking meet these demands. pressure from all vectors need to happen in order to get the Democratic to move on this issue, to get the Kamala Harris campaign to move on this issue, right? So I said last night, the attitude from the Dems cannot be, or 2 nights ago, cannot be that these people are simply spoiling the fun. Their demands are moral, reasonable, and just. Forcing Israel to commit to a ceasefire through measures beyond tough talk will also be electorally beneficial to the Democratic Party. So it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win, okay? It's a win-win-win. Everybody with eyes can understand it. Everybody with a fucking brain can see what's going on. Unless you're completely in a fucking bubble. Unless you're completely in a bubble, you look at the situation and you're like, why the fuck wouldn't these guys speak? What are you talking about? Right? Do you think it was a space management issue, or was there a problem with you and your ideas? Because this sounds like a big and chaotic event. No, it was straight up about what I said and what I was doing there. Okay. UAW posted this as well, which gave many others courage to also come out and speak. If we want the war in Gaza to end, we can't put our heads in the sand or ignore the voice of the Palestinian Americans in the Democratic Party. If we want peace, if we want a real democracy, if we want to win this election, the Democratic Party must allow a Palestinian American speaker to be heard from the DNC station tonight. This is like this is literally the lowest hanging fruit. Okay. Like, this is a gimme for the Democratic Party to even present themselves as though they are pro-Palestinian, as though they recognize the humanity of Palestinian Americans. Like, that's it, right? That's it. That's all they are doing. That's all they're fucking doing at this point. That's all they're asking for. Families of the Israeli hostages joined the demand that Palestinians should not be barred from the DNC stage. Both groups demanding ceasefire and a deal to return the captives. Okay? Mehdi Hasan also then reported on other reporters being briefed that the DNC accepted the Dem state rep Ruva for Georgia, who is a Palestinian American Georgia state representative, who is, who had a speech that was ready to go. That they lied. The DNC lied and said basically, oh, it was actually the uncommitted movement that turned her down. Which I think is fucking ridiculous, because obviously, what do you mean it's the uncommitted movement? They are the ones who fucking put her forward. Okay? It's a lie being told, I assume, by DNC spinners now on the defensive. Uncommitted are the ones who pitched her, and there's still time for the DNC to put Ruva for Georgia on stage tonight for 2 minutes. If they have time and space for a former Republican congressman and for Israeli members of a hostage, they have time and space for an elected Palestinian Democratic lawmaker. Anything else is straight up racism and erasure. The DNC is strenuously denying that they put out any such false claims. So whichever Dem is saying this bullshit the reporters about uncommitted isn't even speaking on behalf of the party, it seems. But the bigger question is, why didn't the DNC accept Ruva for Georgia as a speaker tonight? Okay. To which I, of course, quote tweeted, why does the DNC have one speed? This is identical to how Israel does Hasbara Lamal. And I think literally right after I posted this tweet, like maybe 30 minutes after, is when I got booted. Rashida Tlaib also said, I know for a fact that the DNC did not act in good faith and continue to lie about the negotiations. They are exposing themselves. So yeah, I ate the boot right after that tweet. Okay. And remember, they came in. It was less than half an hour. Yeah, it was very close to after this tweet. I don't know the exact timestamp. But
so we'd love for you to share that and talk to you a little.
But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I had a fucking New York Times interview that was being conducted at the time when they were like, yeah, you got to clear the space, which I thought was pretty crazy. Okay. It was like 25 minutes after that tweet, but I still had a New York Times interview that was coming. Ken Benzinger. And we still did the New York Times interview, and then they made me clear out my desk and clear out my Underestimated Hasan's power. You were walking around openly declaring you had more consecutive viewers than the big news guys. I mean, I was memeing about that shit, okay? Anyway, now I know, because obviously there's like a shit ton of people involved in these decisions and like, you know, playing roles in this, but now I know that like there was, I had heard that there was like already a little bit of a difference in opinion with the Kamala Harris campaign, who I believe wanted me there, versus the DNC, which did not think it was a great idea. Okay, there was a little bit of friction, a little bit of tension. And then obviously, like after that, the boss call was the reason that I got exited in a polite manner. It was not like, fuck you, you're out of here, get the fuck out of here, you're done. Okay, it was more so like, hey, you can't be in here anymore. There's a really important person coming in here and we have to clear out the space. Except we're not really clearing out the space. We're only getting you out of this space, right? And when I asked, like, is there another place that I can go to? I have these interviews lined up. I have the Ilhan Omar interview. I have the AOC interview. I have the Sean Fain interview. Like, I set all this stuff up with the full knowledge that you guys gave me, that like with the confidence that you gave me that I have this space where I can do these private interviews, like conduct these private interviews. They said, no, you don't have any other place that we can put you to. Okay. But anyway, do you think you'll be invited back to the next DNC? Probably. I think so. It was not very polite. They were pretty fucking curt law. I mean, they used the language of politeness, but these, yeah. Would you do the DNC coverage from the inside again if you knew in advance the uncommitted movement would not be allowed to speak? Yes, I would. What do you mean? Of course I would. And next time the DNC happens in 2028, I will still go. Like, I'll probably even have a better slot this time around as well. Also, they said AOC needed the space as their first excuse, not knowing you were the one interviewing her, which is crazy. Yeah, they lied about that. They were like, oh, AOC's coming into this space. I was like, no, she's not. I know she's not because I'm literally talking to her right now and she's stuck behind a fucking motorcade. Yeah, that was also crazy. And then lastly, they were like, oh yeah, we can put you in the meme room that doesn't have even like Wi-Fi. And also simultaneously, not only did it not have Wi-Fi, but there was no Ethernet either. It wasn't just a space issue. And I know that they were like watching because they obviously stream sniped me because they forgot to take my fucking badge for the lower level suites. And then I brought it up and I said, oh, they forgot to take my badge. Maybe they're not kicking us out. Okay. Maybe they're not kicking us out fully because again, like my press credentials are still there. This is like a different level of access. Okay. And they literally right after I said, oh, well, they didn't take my, lower level press credential from me, which means like maybe it is a space issue, right? Like maybe it is actually a legitimate space issue and like we'll be able to recover from here on out. It turns out, no. Okay.
No worries. Someone is definitely fucking watching the stream because I literally said, oh, they didn't even take our credentials away. And then just showed up. Someone is watching the fucking stream.
Just have to watch what you say, I guess, or they'll boot you out for being butthurt. Yeah. If that New York Times reporter was smart, he'd be covering this story, to be honest. I mean, potentially. Dude, I love Ken. He was cool. Yeah, he was dope. And you said on stream as a joke that you would use someone else's space, and said space owner came over rolling up his sleeves to make sure you weren't going to use their space. Wait, what? No, that's not. That was a different story. You're wrong about that. That's crooked media. They actually were willing to give me their space so I could conduct interviews. That was being handled on the back end. No, it wasn't. So it wasn't just that tweet. Okay, that tweet was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But it was my advocacy for having a Palestinian speak at the DNC consistently. It was me wearing a Palestinian flag around my waist, which they consider to be a big no-no, apparently. And also, it was the fact that I talked to the uncommitted movement as well. Now, the reason why it was a little bit different for me, okay, the reason why it was a little bit different for me, if the DNC kicked out Hasan while he's being interviewed by the New York Times to 60,000 people, dumbasses, I have to take responsibility here. I was doing a hysterical Hasidic tunnel callback bit that necessitated burrowing into the actual United Center with dozens of Haredi tunneling experts. When accosted by the Secret Service, I kind of panicked and said Hasan was my boss. My bad. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It is crazy that they did that.
Of like
right
literally only having Israeli victims and their family members be held into question while Palestinian and pro-Palestinian people are getting fucking beaten out. Okay, like they're literally the delegates themselves that dare bring up the Palestinian
Yeah, it didn't happen right after this. That's a lie, by the way. That's not correct.
Casualties get fucking booed, they get humiliated, they get kicked aside. It is fucking ridiculous. Okay.
Oh no, man, why would they even invite you? They knew what you say and you were yourself for 4 days straight, but at that moment they decided to kick you out. Straw that broke the camel's back. If you knew you'd be kicked out, would you have been less contentious? No. Other people interviewed the uncommitted people as well. Yes. But the difference is they were press. They didn't have like the fucking suite level access. Press doing it is different than a creator for Kamala doing it in front of 60,000 people and also in a fucking suite that they gave him. Okay? They see that as like a big fuck you. At least the DNC sees that as like a big fuck you. Do you understand? Like there's obviously a difference between like where I'm doing it and how I'm doing it versus like how other people are doing it. Okay? Don't you feel like what they did was worse? They cut off your ability to do your coverage while pretending you were still welcome, honestly? No, I mean, look, my point is this, okay? My point is this. I was never going to like moderate my views or change my perspective because of the unimaginable amount of access I got. And I did get an unimaginable amount of access. Okay? It's true. I mean, think about it, dude. There are literally fucking professional journalists and press people and media outlets out there that are spending a shit ton of money that had to spend a shit ton of money to get that level of access that I was able to get. Okay? That's huge. So everything I was able to do within the DNC, within the confines of the DNC for the past 4 days, even with the like last day fuck you, I don't care. I'm very happy about. Okay? I'm very happy about it because obviously I still was able to do all of this shit and I never took it for granted. You know what I mean? I was able to do all of this and I considered it to be a bonus, right? Because I would be covering the DNC regardless, even if I was there and I was streaming from the hotel room or if I was here in Los Angeles streaming from my house. I'd be doing that anyway. So the fact that I was able to do it inside and also get this like level of unprecedented level of access on top of that was an added benefit. Do you see what I'm saying? The way I look at it is like I'm happy for everything that I got
because I never thought that I would get any of this shit anyway, which is precisely the reason why I think a lot of people were like, how the fuck did they let you in here? Like, why are they doing this? And I wanted to do it justice. Okay. I wanted to do it justice. I wanted to do the level of access that I got as much justice as possible. I wanted to show as many people as possible in my community that you know, this is how it works. This is the background. Like, this is what a convention is, right? Like I showed you every aspect of it, from the protests outside to the protests inside to the regular process. I interviewed politicians. I talked to them. Ultimately, I think I made the most of it. And I find it to be I found this to be a very, very fortunate situation. I was very lucky to be able to get all of this. I think they thought they could use you and live up your audience by giving you so much accommodation. Like, look, we have progressives too. Even that guy that said Americans are 9/11. Yeah, they don't care about that part. I feel like you made a shit ton of big connections. Not necessarily. I mean, all the people that I was talking to already, I had access to already. I just like kind of used them because I was right there. But anyway, safety vest DNC guy was watching stream and tried to jump in to stop the bad press. Yeah. Seeing it kicked out for what we all assume was support for Palestine just killed my spirit. I thought that we would get a voice in the DNC and we all got shut down. I'm back to not wanting to vote again. Look, I'm not gonna fault you for that, okay? But overall, I think, and this is going to now get to my commentary portion, right? We're gonna start talking about you know, we're going to be talking about the Kamala Harris speech and all this stuff, but I haven't watched stream in a long time. I catch up a little with what's going on with you and X. When I saw you were going to the DNC, I was hoping you wouldn't be simping for the Dems, so I'm super happy you haven't changed when you stand and speaking out against oppression. Yeah, of course. But it is you know, it is what it is. I'm overall very, very happy with everything. Okay. You said next time you let press credentials. Can you explain what difference it would make? I would have like a dog shit area, if lucky, if I even get an area at all, to be able to stream from the pit. Like, I'll probably be like near TYT in the press pit. Because like all of those other major outlets, like they pay for those rooms, and I'm not trying to drop fucking $500,000 on the Democratic National, the DNC, the National Convention, to be able to fucking get like that level of access. So I can't get over what it must have looked like to the journo who was previously unfamiliar with you, seeing you kicked out while so many fans in the DNC are thanking you for your work and how much you mean to them. Yeah. Overall, I think that it was a wild thing that they did, especially when I was like being interviewed by the New York Times in front of 60,000 people. I don't know why they did it like that. I think it's not like that serious, that significant in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't know if that'll like be a bigger news story or anything like that. But regardless of that, regardless of their actions, I still am very happy. I'm still very happy with like what I was able to do. And that's it. I hope that it was entertaining, and I hope that not only was it entertaining, but also informative. And I hope you guys got a better understanding of, you know, what was going on internally over there. But yeah, I was malding last night
with the Kamala Harris speech. But here's a funny moment where, you know, I was having fun with the New York Times guy.
I got a friend who's a nicotine gum addict. I'm wondering if I should
I am
push
too.
her on Zyn.
I am too, but then she's gonna be a Zyn addict. She's gonna be a Zinfidel.
Isn't
Osama Bin Laden.
I feel like I got a friend who's
I have it on good authority. Okay, dude. Emphasis on convention. This was sick, man. This is undefeated. Okay, this is literally undefeated. What is this? Canute mentioned you. Colette calling Hasan insane. Keg W. It was not only the best week of content ever, it was so rejuvenating to see you go into Liberal Alliance Den and be treated like the biggest celebrity there. Such a good sign for the left's future, in my opinion. I don't know if it's a good sign of the left's future. That lady that came to make sure you were leaving that were asking about another space also said it would be best if you went back to your hotel to continue the stream. When you said that that would be your next step, they definitely just wanted you gone and were trying to do it with grace because you were live to so many people. I mean, I don't know if she was trying to do that. I think it was just more so like they were all fine. They were great. You know, I'm not annoyed with them at all. Nothing will ever top you sitting down with Rokana and immediately talking about sometimes leaving your mic on while you're pissing. You literally said pissing to Rokana. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I was excited when you mentioned going to the DNC and it felt like a place to get a view. Love the insight. Yeah. They kicked you out for the Zinfidel comments? No, dude. They kicked me out because I served too many 3-minute ad breaks at the top of the hour. And I did that so gracefully. I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked at how many people were fans inside of the Democratic Party. Maybe not the delegates, and maybe not the people that are working, maybe not the people that are like volunteers. That makes sense. But it was genuinely fucking shocking how many like I had like council members and shit like that from all around the country coming up and being like, yo, I'm a huge fan. It was like, damn, that's crazy. You know? That's wild. Have you tried the citrus flavors in? Yeah, it sucks. Hasan is interviewing Cori Bush right now. Yeah, she said she was a fan of mine, which was crazy to hear from someone who I respect so much. But yeah, I think this strip showed that the MJ glazing is alive and strong, and you loving LeBron was going against that love. Yeah, I think that's why I got kicked out, honestly, because I just spoke truth to power about how LeBron is the real GOAT. Anything you do differently? No, not even. Like, I think we maxed out. Okay, we maxed out. We did everything right.